Hello, my name is Salwa Allouch. My student number is 0624234, and today I'll be talking about Sustainable Development Goals. Now, Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure all people enjoy peace and prosperity. There are 17 goals with 169 quantifiable targets that are built on Millennium Development Goals, but include areas such as climate change, economic inequality, innovation, sustainable consumption, and peace and justice. These goals are interconnected and must be achieved between the years of 2015 and 2030. The most important goal to me is Sustainable Development Goal number 16, in which works towards promoting peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. It also provides access to justice for all and builds effective and accountable and inclusive institutions at all levels. Now, the most important part of this goal to me would be minimizing violence and conflict. Now, what is conflict? Conflict is a clash of ideas between two groups. It does not always lead to violence, but when it does, it can cause catastrophic wars within a nation. Sustainable Development Goal number 16 aims to end these forms of violence before it leads to further hardships. Here is an example. The Syrian civil war had begun in 2011 with a peaceful protest against its government. This would be considered the beginning of conflict. The Syrian government decided to fire shots at peaceful protests, and this action led to the Syrian civil war. 7 years later, we have 485,000 reported deaths and 11 million refugees from this one conflict. This is a very personal issue to me because my family originates from Syria, and they have become a part of statistics of casualties and refugees. Not only does conflict cause heavy amounts of casualties and refugees, but it heavily hinders on the development of a nation. Now, just looking at Syria alone, according to the World Bank, the population of Syria is 18.43 million people. 4 million children of these 18 million people don't have access to education, which repeats on Sustainable Development Goal number 4 that works to bring quality education to all. 11 million people don't have access to healthcare, and with the rise of war, there's a huge outbreak of disease. This impedes on SDG number 3 that works to bring good health and well-being. Food production in Syria has dropped by 40%, and prices of food have risen by 1,000%. This impedes on SDG goal number 2 that works to end hunger. Today, 1 in 3 Syrians live under the poverty line, which impedes on Sustainable Development Goal number 1, which basically wants to eradicate poverty. Let's not forget about the rise of inflation and the huge amount of destruction of infrastructure, which impedes on SDG goals number 8 and 9 that work towards economic growth and proper infrastructure. Conflict diminishes people's capabilities to live a life they deem to be valuable. Armed conflict also violates people's economic, social, and cultural rights, some previously outlined in the Sustainable Development Goals. We as Canadians live a life of love and prosperity in which we take heavily for granted. Political corruption is one of the leading causes of conflict, and we must work to eliminate all forms of this by 2030. Sustainable Development Goal number 16 sets the foundation for all Sustainable Development Goals. We are not able to achieve any prosperous goal without transparent and accountable governments who work with its nation to achieve all 17 goals, and thus doing its part to raise the well-being of everyone in the world. Thank you very much.